Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I am your host, GameChanger. All right. So apparently, a person named Yada, whom I've never heard of before, and a person by the name of Anton Daniels, who I have heard of, are going at it. Something about 50-50 relationships. And people say that I should see it, that I should cover it, that I should watch it. So here I am doing it for you. And let me just give before keep in mind this is my first time watching it, so I'll be watching it fresh with you all here. Hit that like button as you come in. Before I go deep into it, let me start off by saying that my feeling on 50-50 relationship is it's a case by case basis. I do believe that in most cases a man should lead the relationship, but I don't feel that a criteria of 100% is necessary to do so. Maybe that was once the time to do that, but that's not the case anymore. And I feel differently about that. Now, if you are in that situation to where the woman's income is negligible, she's really just working just to, like, at some point, it's like, you make, say, 350K and she makes 30K. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, I doubt that people on that level are asking for that, and vice versa. Vice versa. If I were to get with Chloe Bailey and she was to blow up more than what she has, then it really wouldn't make any sense for me to continue to work. If she actually, I mean, she's doing well, I'm sure, but if she actually became like the next Rihanna, Beyonce, my income would not really be, and I have a decent income, but my income wouldn't be a significant enough contribution to the household for me to continue to work. It just wouldn't make sense at that point. Personally, I would rather not be with Chloe Bailey than to take a subordinate position in a relationship because her talents allow her to pay the bills. So that's my take on it. It is a case by case situation. I used to be on the 100% man, camp, but I had to think about it rationally. And also, it's come to my attention that what women are doing with these 100% men is they're using them as a stepstone for them to set up their own careers. So say you have a young woman who with aspirations and IQ to become a doctor one day. However, she don't want to work at Taco Bell while in college. Well, she just says, okay, I'll find a guy that will fund a better lifestyle for me. And since, getting with the guy is less time consuming than working at Taco Bell, then I can basically stack my money, go to school, do my residency, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then by the time I become a doctor off of this truck driver, then I could say, oh, yes, I no longer need you. Once you become a doctor, he's still an accountant because he's been working to support you for the past 10 years. She can then say, oh, I no longer need you. So a lot of women look at guys as a stepstone for their business ventures, for their academic pursuits, for their really them climbing the corporate ladder. And being a 100% man gives them the opportunity to do that. But the relationship comes to an inevitable end. It's okay if you are aware of that, which is why I say it's a case by case basis thing. But each individual should look at the situation critically, know what kind of scams, know what kind of hustles are out there, know what you're getting into. All right. So with that being said, I am going to play the short of the day. Actually, you know something? I was going to go one way with the short of the day, but I'm going to go another one. Unfortunately, I have this queued up. So give me a second while I do this. And while I take that second, hit that like button. I guess I could do both. No, it's not that one. Let's see. Here it is. All right. Was going to make a separate video on this, but why do that? Maybe I could just edit this part and put it in a separate video. Okay, so this reads, she divorced her husband because he lost his job and couldn't pay the bills. Take a listen.
So he came home and he was like, babe, I lost my job. I'm like, all right, cool. So a month later, like the bills, it was time for the bills or whatever, and I'm like, the bills due, babe, or whatever. And he was like, okay, I'm not working. And I'm just in a month, like it's all kind of hustles. You could have been doing something or whatever. So I told him, I said, look, if I pay these bills, are you going to pay me the money back? This man had the nerve to tell me, why should I pay my wife back for paying our bills? I told this man from day one, my money is my money and his money is our money. Why should I spend my money paying the bills? Like, no, he should have paid me back. So that's when I decided, like, I can't be with this man no more. So I had text his homeboy. Like, we all cool. I text his homeboy or whatever. We went together. We left. I met up with him. And we was chilling, we was drinking or whatever. And I started venting. Like I started getting emotional. One thing led to the next. I did not purposely mean to do what I did with this, but things happen. Like, y'all understand what I'm going through. So, his friend ended up giving me some money or whatever. And he was like, babe, look, don't worry about it. Handle whatever you gotta handle. Like, his friend was every single thing I desire in a man. Like, everything I desire in a man. And, ain't nobody trying to hear my side. Ain't nobody trying to hear. So he came home and he was like, babe, I lost my job.
Okay. So the short of what she was saying, just in case her accent, her Keisha accent was too thick. Basically, she was married to a guy who lost his job. Many guys in our occupation, our administration has this whole, Biden Kamala administration has lost their job. And she found that, okay, the original agreement still stands. Apparently they had an original agreement, and that is what's mine is mine and what's yours is ours. That is the agreement that they had. And trust me, this is not unusual. A lot of 100% men have said agreement. But then when stuff hits the fan, they would hope that as a fallback mechanism, that their chick would be this ride or die chick that they hear about on the radio, that they try to sell to it. Like, oh no, black man, we got your back strong, brother. You my king, my king, my king. And I'm a strong black woman. But really, she wasn't about to have that. She said, this is our agreement. You have to figure out a way to pay. Now, I'm going to talk about that agreement for a second. Under no circumstances should you accept such an agreement. And especially, that goes triple, that goes quadruple. That goes quadruple for a situation where you are living paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to say that once again. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, then you definitely should not accept that situation. This dude, he lost his job, and one paycheck later, he's broke. Like, one paycheck later, you can't pay the bill. And trust me, this isn't me shooting down a paycheck to paycheck dude. We all been there. Some of us are there. This is me saying, look at the situation practically. And so should she. It's like, listen, she has a job. She has an income. That's why she said what's hers is hers. If they shared in the expenses, at least for a short period of time, let's just say 5 years, then they would have something built up. Half of it, I'm assuming they're paying rent, half of the rent for 5 years. Let's just say that's let's just say paying $1,000 in rent. So they $6,000 a year for 5 years. He would have $60,000 just in case he loses his job. That's called building with somebody. But she didn't want to do that. And the reason why is because she is a 304. Now, she may whitewash it through institutions of marriage or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but she is a 304, meaning that the concept of giving something for nothing, because she feels that, listen, if we are in a 50-50 or even a 60-40, any amount over a period of time would have saved up. So when he hit this hard time, he wouldn't be like unable to pay the bills after 1 month. So if they had a better arrangement, then he would not be in these dire straits. But you see, she has a 304 mentality. The concept of sleeping with somebody without getting something in return is foreign to her. She feels that she is being hustled, that she's being used, that she is being taken advantage of by a real true PIMP. So she refused that situation. And then she sold her goods to the next customer once the previous guy's check didn't clear. And it seemed like he didn't get unemployment or nothing. He was just like, and maybe the story isn't true. Maybe she just made it up because, for TikTok attention, et cetera, which she's getting. But nevertheless, this mentality exists and brothers should adjust their mentality accordingly. All right. So that's the short of the day. Let me read some comments and get into the potatoes and meat of this story. All right. Greetings to you. Facts. Appreciate you. Isn't this prostitution? Worse than prostitution. This is, by the definition of many GAME guys, tricking. This is tricking. It's tricking. It's like, oh crap. These are the chicks that these guys get with. The game ninjas. These chicks just go up to the local store. A bunch of hood dudes approach and shoot their shot, and she picks the one with the most money. And yes, he buys her the tweed. He buys her some tweed. He buys her some alcohol. He pays to get her hair did. And then if somebody buys a stove, they tricking. So yeah, it is by that definition, by their definition, institution. And yes, it is tricking. They don't want to admit that. You see, here's the thing. Once you have embraced the moniker of a game ninja, then it's not tricking. Nothing you do is considered tricking at that point. Kind of like once you become a police officer, it's not considered assault. When you have to use your hands to arrest somebody, it's not considered assault. Or better yet, it's not considered speeding if you're a cop and you have those sirens on. It's not considered like driving while using, like the police use their walkie-talkies and stuff while driving, but if you use your cell phone, you get a ticket. It's a badge. They get certain liberties because they are game ninjas. It's not tricking when they do it. It's not tricking when they walk up to a young lady and say, "Hey girl, I'd like to upgrade your lifestyle. I can make you a star, one truck stop at a time. Aren't you tired of living in these hotels, wearing these Ross brand clothes? Girl, I got that Gucci in the Cadillac right over there. Why don't you choose, sign up, be on the team, improve your quality of life. When you got an itch, I scratch it. When you got a problem, I solve it. When you got a need, I fulfill it. Because I'm about to be that man in your life." They come in a chick like that, they're offering something. It's tricking. So yes, they walk around with this immunity stuff because they don't hold each other to the same criteria that they hold everybody else, because they want to set themselves above everybody else. But trust me, they're beneath. All right. Anyway, let's get down to, like I say, I haven't seen this before myself. This is a fresh watch for me. Hit that like button.
Topic of discussion for tonight, okay? Because this is one of the most polarizing conversations online, one of the biggest talking points that you gotta have. And I've heard you dive into this conversation many times before as well, Anton. Let's talk about it. Should men be expected to cover 100% of the bills? This is a major stressor to a lot of brothers out here. A lot of brothers out here split between this. A lot of brothers say that's absolutely insane to cover 100% of the bills. And a lot of other, and the ladies are saying that this is a must. I must get a brother to cover 100% of the bills. So let's bring some clarity to this, Yada. I'm gonna have you open up the conversation here.
My bad. Thanks. I was getting deep into the story, but okay. So, I was saying that it doesn't take much. It doesn't cost much for us to take care of a woman. It does cost an extraordinary amount to take care of an American woman. And it does cost an exorbitant amount to take care of an American Black woman. Make no mistake, there is an additional tariff. That's a good word. That's a good word. There is an additional tariff that comes with taking care of an American Black woman. And that tariff comes in the form of nails and hair, more specifically hair. For a white woman, the monthly cost of her hair upkeep is the cost of an entire 16-ounce bottle of Pert Plus, because that includes both the shampoo and conditioner. So she can wash and go with Pert. That is the entirety of her hair care costs. However, with a Black woman, there's all kind of smelly chemicals, imported hair from, Wakanda or wherever they get it from Brazil, from Peruvian, and from wherever they get it from. There is an additional cost. There's an additional eyelash cost. There's an additional hoop earring cost. There's an additional nails cost. So they can walk around with these claws that makes it apparent that they don't wash dishes. All of this extra crap costs. These are regular reoccurring fees. I don't like regular reoccurring fees. There's a show that I like called Tulsa King, and with Sylvester Stallone. And I don't want to pay $5.99. Yeah, and I'm not a poor man. I'm not a poor man. I seen the first season for free on Xfinity, And then they was like, oh, you have to pay an extra tariff if you want to see season 2. Ha! No, thank you, sir. Like, yes, just 5. I do not care. I do not want to pay your extra tariff. I do not want to pay your extra tariff. Unfortunately for the B-dubs, Black women come with an extra tariff. I don't know how much. In fact, let me look it up. Monthly costs of maintaining Black woman's hair. Okay. Oh, they got a breakdown here. Pantene charcoal shampoo, $7 in okay. Oil curl conditioner, $26. So right there, they already beat white one. And I think this one is for natural hair. It says topical owls, leave-in Jamaican. Yeah, so this is the same, some of the stuff I use myself. But yeah, so this is for a natural Black woman's hair. I'm talking about a weave. Let's see. Afro tax American spends 4 times as much. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look here. All right. It says African American or white Caucasian. Dang, this graph says like 82% versus 5% on white hair. What is this? Okay, they don't have a price. They just got the thing. The hidden cost of Black hair from $40K on wigs to $20K on natural hair products. Here we go. Here we go. So yeah, that's that extra tariff that you are spending. Now, I was saying when I was muted that I knew this Mexican family, right? Husband, wife, and daughters, right? I'm not gonna say how many, but they had some daughters. And he came over. By the way, she was a stay-at-home wife. He wasn't balling out of control. I'm not even going to guess his income, but I will say that he had a 6th grade education and he was a very hard worker. I'll say that. But when he first got here, when he first got to the U.S., and he had the one kid, his wife was still a stay-at-home wife, and he picked oranges. I remember him telling me exactly how it worked, because I remember one day I was going to an Indian casino and I came across an orange field, and I seen that they had this machine that was shaking the trees, and it shook the trees so the oranges dropped into the machine. Right? I thought that was interesting. And then I asked him, I was like, hey, didn't you used to pick something? He said, yeah. I was like, so does these machines put you out of work? He said, no, those machines to get the oranges for the orange juice, but for the oranges that you buy at the store. See, I would only notice if I talk to this dude. But we, it was my job, it was his job to pick the oranges for the grocery store that people buy. It won't be bruised up and stuff. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I remember that he was telling me he used to pick oranges, and his wife still was a stay-at-home wife. They only had one kid at the time. He had to get another job, but still, they only had the one kid at the time. If a person can do it, if a person can have a stay-at-home wife on an orange picker salary, on an ag worker immigrant salary with a 6th grade education, then regular Black Americans can afford, a stay-at-home wife, provided that they have a modest lifestyle. But these bras don't have a modest lifestyle because they spend $40K on freaking hair. So it's a non-starter. I mean, there's different levels of stay-at-home wife. Like, they're not going to accept a modest lifestyle. If they become a stay-at-home wife, they think about the money that they are losing if they were to work at Applebee's. So, or work at Hooters or something like that. So they only, you basically must replace the income that they would be making if they were working. That's what it comes down to. And that's why it's a non-starter in most relationships, unless you are like a six-figure dude or something like that. All right, let's continue.
Should men be expected to cover 100% of the bills?
First, I want to say all praise is due to the Most High, and I want to pray real quick if you don't mind.
Let's go.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful.
Holy crap. This is my first time hearing this dude. This is my first time hearing this dude speak. And thus far, I gotta say, he's completely full of crap. Whenever somebody goes on a public platform and say, first I like to pray, they just want to be seen as praying. People have a desire to project certain images of themselves onto a public. Like they say, okay, this is what I want people to see me as. I want people to see me as a holy man. And this is what holy men do. They pray the moment they're on camera, like, oh, camera, photo up, let me pray. And why is he holding his hand up like he's Muslim, but praying to God? Like, don't you call it Allah? Like, so right there, I'm my opinion is forming. I'm not going to jump to a conclusion, but right now it's forming to something bad. Yeah, like, isn't he doing like a Muslim prayer practice? But okay.
Strengthen me and guide me. Allow God to speak through me. Allow it to electrify the room.
Anton's shaking his head.
Remove all dusty demons from the table. All praises due. Amen.
All praises due to whom? They are cracking up. They are cracking up. They're cracking up. Like when I was a kid and it was Thanksgiving and the adults did the prayer and I'm looking around. I used to do that when I was a kid. I looked around to see who wasn't praying and who was looking around like me. I was like looking at the face of the other kids and stuff. That's what they do when they crack up. Oh man. I was about to say holy crap. And there we go. I was about to say holy crap, and that's exactly what this is. Oh, this guy is funny. I'm going to enjoy this video. I'm going to enjoy this live stream. Somebody said, I already knew you was gonna do this, do a live. LOL. Yeah. Thank Josh. It was he suggested that I do this yesterday. He gave me a call. He was like, do this. I was like, well, I seen him on LAR Movement. I didn't know what they were talking about. I really wasn't thinking about it, but I'm glad I did, because we're like 1 minute and 13 seconds in, and this is some spectacular stuff. I gotta say that.
And amen.
So when you getting up there?
All praises due to God.
When you leave?
Off the chain.
Now, what's the question, brother?
All right.
What's the question?
So the question is,
When you leave?
What's the question?
should men be expected to cover 100% of the bills?
I believe if men are claiming to be providers, and we know that means to take care of whoever's under you, that he should provide 100%. While we're doing this, this gives the woman time and space, not just to be great for the man, but also great for the children. And I want to use myself for example. I provide 100% for.
Okay, what he says is true, but it's also presumptuous. You are pre-assuming that the woman would be great for the children. that the woman would be great for you. Absolutely. If like the Mexican family I was talking about, absolutely. Absolutely. If you have a stay-at-home wife and all she does is cut carrots for the kids in the soccer team, you know, and she's volunteering, she works for Mothers Against Drunk Drivers and stuff like she's doing everything, she's also a karate mom to the other kids and making sure this kid get the piano lesson, all while maintaining a tight figure for you, then absolutely. Absolutely. But in most cases with modern women, you're not getting what you pay for. They be on some Peggy Bundy stuff at best. At best, they be on some Peggy Bundy stuff because, I didn't notice it then because she's a lot older than me. I didn't notice it when I was first watching the Married with Children. But what's her name? Katie Holmes or something like that? She had it going on. She had it going on. So, but most chicks, they just stay at home, get fat, watch reality TV, talk to some other fat ratchet broads on the phone, and think of ways to get half your crap. Let's be clear on that. And if she is working, going to school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then she is not building for the kids. She's not, she's not working to build herself for you. She's working to build herself for herself.
For my woman. My son, he's only 5 years old, and he was tested 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. 2 days ago, he's only in kindergarten, but he tested at a 4th grade level. Huh. Why is that? Because I handle my responsibility, providing, and providing isn't just financial. Any man off the street can walk to a woman and give her money. Providing is elevating a woman mentally, elevating a woman spiritually, emotionally. This is what it means to provide for a woman. Not just, here's some money, run off with it. No. Let me elevate you. Let me bring you closer to your God. Let me set standards in your life. If your father gave you to me, you are my responsibility from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. I'm going to love everything about you, 100%. And if I can't do that, I'm not a man. I'm a male. And that's a difference.
Okay. Hold on, it's doing this.
That's sure.
All right. Though I agree with some of what he says, and the sentiment behind it, I have to stop. I have to stop on a second where I have to stop in a place where he's talking about man versus male and stuff like that. I hate it when dudes do that. I hate it when dudes like to set themselves above the next man. It shows that they're in competition, that they're in chronic competition with other men. Okay, D2 says that kid is 9-year-old in kindergarten reading at a 4th grade level. Why is he 9 years old in kindergarten? Is this true? Because somebody said what he said about the kid isn't true. Now he's probably like, I think what he was getting at was that the kid is 5 years old and he's reading at a 9-year-old's level, which would be impressive because at that age you're just learning to read. So the kid would obviously be gifted, or something else is going on. Oh, I see. Well, if that's true, that's not a good thing that he was held back 4 years already.
So one
man,
track.
talk to me, brother.
No.
Talk to me, brother.
Nope.
Talk to me, brother.
Why is he? Oh,
talk to me, brother.
So this is what
why
we're
is he
going to do.
interrupting?
Talk to me, brother.
What the hell?
Because
holy crap! While talking, he's saying, "Talk to me." Holy crap!
he's like Kamala Harris right now.
Talk to me, brother.
God
And I've
dang,
heard
he was
all of
talking.
these talking points.
Talk to
and
me.
I don't even study him.
What the hell was this? Dude is a complete clown. gonna do that just to see how annoying I could be to the general population. I am going to see how annoying I could be to the general population. I am going to get into an Uber, and while the person is driving, I'm going to be like, hey, drive me, brother. Drive me. Drive me, bro. I'm going to do that the whole trip just to see how annoying, to see how soon it will take for me to get socked in the face. I am going to do that to the general population. I'm going to go to McDonald's, and then I'm gonna tell people to do the thing that they're doing while they're doing it. Put the French fries in the bag, brother. Put the French fries in the bag. Hand the bag to me, brother. Give me the bag. Give me the bag. Hand the bag to me, brother. What the hell? What the hell? I'm gonna talk to the landscapers and just stand there and say, yeah, mow the lawn, brother. Come on, mow the lawn. Need you to mow the lawn. I need you to blow the leaves. It's fall time. I'm gonna say the crap that they're doing while they're doing it. Tomorrow is trash day. Tomorrow is trash day. I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna get up early and say, hey, dump the trash, brother. Come on, dump the trash. Dump the trash, brother. Dang. Somebody says, do you see this at the beginning? It gets worse. He gets worse than this. This guy's a complete annoyance. He is a complete annoyance already. Jesus.
Because he says the same thing over and over again.
Talk to me.
Ah!
You got to control yourself because that's
brother.
not manly.
Talk to me, brother.
You got to control yourself.
Brother, talk to me, brother.
So you see how I was quiet?
He's still saying it. Anton is describing what he's doing when he says he's repeating the same thing over and over again. And dude is repeating the same thing over and over again while he's describing what he's doing. He's making us look bad. This brother here. He's making us look bad. Oh, and by the way, I'm not a hotep dude. When I say us, I'm talking about beardless brothers. He's making beardless brothers look like complete idiots. I am a beardless man. I am a free face. I am a naked face, beardless man with hair up top my head, not on my face. And he is making us look bad. He is such a terrible person that he is making all people with bare faces look bad. Not enough to make me want to grow my beard, but still, it's a bad look.
When you were speaking?
No, you cut me up, but go ahead, bro.
I didn't say anything.
You got it, brother. There you go.
I was quiet when you were speaking.
Go ahead, brother.
And so now we're going to add nuance. Now we're going to add context. So first thing we have to do is we have to ask ourselves the question, what does it mean to be a man? Because being manly has nothing to do with a woman. It has nothing to do with pandering. It has nothing to do with just providing. Being a man means being purposeful. That's what being a man is. That means that whatever it is that I seek from God, because my purpose is not a woman. A woman is a helpmeet. So when he panders to you guys, and ladies, remember, I don't know what he's selling. I don't know what product that he has, but my goal is to get you married. My goal is to have you married based off of what God says is sanctified, right? I don't want y'all divorced. I don't want you unequally yoked. I don't want you to be a single baby mama. I don't want you shooting your shot in the dark thinking that this guy is giving you insight when he's just giving you talking points with no real substance behind it. And here's the context. At what age do you want to be married? Do you put yourself in a position to find the person that's best for you? Has your father given you away? Does your parents actually see value in the person that is looking to marry you? And when you start to ask yourself these questions, and I don't speak to just rich people because we both have money, we both have resources. So let's remove that from the table. I speak to the majority, not the minority. And when you are 20, 21, 22 years old, especially if you are a person that's looking to become a man, You are supposed to fail in controlled environments, meaning that your father is not even supposed to give you everything. He's
Okay. This is a long-winded answer, and he still hasn't gotten to it, but I see where he's going with it. He's saying that the question isn't as cut and dry as his answer was, which I wholeheartedly agree. It seems like he's going in the direction of it would be foolish for a woman to ask for a guy to take care of 100% of everything before he gets drafted by the NBA. That would be dumb. You know, he's a student. Like the college can't give him money, or else the coach would get fired. You know, like it's and he really don't have the time to work at, you know, to wash dishes for Outback Steakhouse at that time, at that stage in life. So he's going to be broke. For her to say I want 100% now is kind of dim. So though I agree with part of what he says, I also agree with Anton Daniels. It is a case-by-case situation. And a woman should look, this does not warrant a blanketed answer, which is what dude gave.
supposed to give you what you need in order to be successful. My father was able to buy me a car, but he told me that I had to earn it and work for it because I valued it more, which then extended to every single thing that I touch, including the woman. See, my wife is here. My wife travels with me. She knows me. She understands me, right? And so at 20, 21, 22 years old, you supposed to be broke. Unless you're doing something that you ain't supposed to do in order to get it, you're supposed to be building. You're supposed to be understanding each other. It's a storming, a norming, a forming situation. And in no circumstance do you ever come into it fully understanding who the person is, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman. And so when we start to look at what God has ordained to be great, the purpose of a man, it's not just to give spirituality and leadership, and it's to understand. The first thing that the word says, in everything that you do, you get understanding.
He don't like this. He don't like this. And he don't like this because, and I don't know what he does for a living, but I can tell that whatever it is, it's rooted somehow in talking to Black women. Like whether he's a pastor or what have you, like it's rooted in something like that. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know this guy. This is my first time watching this. I'm watching it fresh with you all. But it seems like it's something like that. And guys like that do not like when other guys talk and come off as more intelligent. That's something that they can't stand because that threatens their existence.
And everything you do, you get understanding. I don't even know her. I don't even know you. Everybody is out here dating, everybody running around, everybody doing everything. They're giving themselves to each other. We think that money or resources or what you can do or what you can offer a person is supposed to make up for all of the insecurities and the problems and the issues that you have in your childhood. What have you solved for? Right? Do you have problems in your childhood? Do you even have a father? Do you know what it means to be a man? It's a lot of women that's raising men to be feminine because they're in single parent households, right? How does that look? What does it look like when you get into a situation with a woman that has a child out of wedlock already, and then she still has to deal with the father? How do you deal with that? See, these are the questions that he can't answer for you because the only thing he talks about is pandering. I'm talking about context. I'm talking about substance. I'm talking about spirituality. I'm talking about praying together. I'm talking about building. You're supposed to get married when you're young because it prevents you from sinning and finding yourself with all of these bodies and these soul ties that ultimately carry with you for the rest of your life. And then you start to see every single man and you can't take it out of your memory with the person that you wind up being with. Most women have skipped over the man that they're supposed to be with because they didn't have the guidance, because they didn't have the spirituality. They don't know the word of God. And so it's easy to just say, oh yeah, just provide 100%. What happens when life happens and you 22, 23, 24 years old and you get married? The economy messed everybody up. Everybody that thought that they had it, guess what? You got a plan and then God has a plan. What happened to the character? Why you don't talk about character?
Hold on. Oh, and Anton,
Why he don't? No, hold on. Why he don't talk about character? Because when I teach my daughter, I'm a reflection of the man that I would want my daughter to marry. I don't tell my daughter to go and look for a guy to provide for her. I tell my daughter to go and look.
It is true. What he did say was on some hoe stuff. It was on some, okay, hit the like button, people. It was on some, I define masculinity by how much stuff he gives. Listen, even during the hunter-gatherer stage of human evolution, humans' cultural evolution, the women did gather. The women did gather. Like, he hunted food, the women gathered nuts and berries and fruits. Without that, during the winter, they would likely starve, depending on the part of the world that they lived in. Some places have harsher winters than others, but y'all get the point. There's not always going to be a woolly mammoth to hunt. During those times, you defer to nuts and berries and vegetables and whatever she can gather. It's really how that worked for thousands of years through most of human social evolution. She is it's complex, but to define masculinity on simple provisions is not, it's not very bright.
Look for a guy that's believing in God, that has good character, that actually worships and looks for and focuses on his purpose, because everything else falls in line. The money is going to come. We so busy chasing money. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. You don't have to chase money. You don't have to look to women to provide for them, because if you're naturally that, if you're raised up in the admonition of your father, which is what God has ordained for you to do, you don't have to worry about that. That's naturally in you. And so, yes, absolutely, she should be purposeful. And her purpose at that time could be raising the children, depending on if y'all got children. Her purpose at that time could be out there and bringing in resources, because she's learning a new skill that can then translate into the company that y'all build together. It's a lot of nuance and a lot of context, but I hate it.
Yeah. So I agree with Anton, because he was saying what I was saying in the beginning, and that is, it's a case-by-case scenario. Just like when you go to a bodega and you have like an Asian guy and his wife, and they're both working that store together, just like that, that scene from Menace to Society, hurry up and buy. Now she shouldn't have been out by herself like that while he's safer behind the counter. And she telling armed dudes to hurry up and buy. Like, I probably wouldn't say that that's the best scenario, but there is a such thing as a family business and a family establishment, and people have them all the time. Just for clowns like this to say, "Oh, you're not a man," that's ridiculous. Every family situation is different.
When people pander to women because they leading y'all astray, and it sounds like I'm a harsh father. It sounds like it's a difficult situation. It sounds like you're just supposed to be giving everything. But if that's the case, then why are we as a society, why are we as a people, as Black people in particular, so far behind, and we further behind than we ever been, even though we the freest and we have the opportunity to choose for ourselves? This isn't God. Ain't none of this what he talking about God right now. And I ain't even studied him. I ain't even getting started. I'm gonna let you cook. Go ahead.
Wait. So, but I want clarity before we move on.
Go ahead.
Because when we talk about should men pay 100% of the bills, I'm assuming that means based on the context that you just gave.
It's based off of your circumstance and situation.
Yeah.
Everyone is
individual
situation, and nobody is a monolith.
My brother.
Nobody is a monolith.
Yeah, we're aligned.
I love how he put so much passion into his words. But when God created man, God gave man a purpose.
Everything before the word "but" is BS. Shout out to Ned Stark. Or Eddard Stark. Shout out to the Starks. Or George R.R. Martin. Whomever. Everything before the word "but" is BS. I love all the passion that you put into the word. But yeah, okay, here. So that was BS, but here we go.
I
Let's go, Yada.
love how he put so much passion into his words. But when God created man, God gave man a purpose. And what was the purpose? What was the purpose? He placed that man in a garden. What's this? That's a tree. What's this? Those are clouds. What's that? That's a sky. What's that? That's a bear.
That's not what happened.
Listen to
You
me.
don't even know the
Man,
word of
listen
God.
to me.
You don't even know the word of
Listen
God, but
to me,
I'ma let you
brother.
cook.
Listen to me. And when God
Okay, so yeah, he was charged with, you know, I guess like naming all the stuff in the land. I don't really see what that has to do with provisions. I want to see where he's going with this. Anton's interrupting, but I want to see where he's going with this, because it's going to be a very weird place. I could tell you that much, just by the way that it's going. And I don't think it was bears in the Garden of Eden, because, you know, the Garden of Eden is in like the Ethiopia area, and aren't any bears there. But yeah, I want to see. I'm curious. I got to see where this is going. So Anton, shut up. Let me see what you got to say.
seeing that he was fit to represent himself as a man, he put him to rest.
Huh?
And from that rib,
This.
Oh, he don't know what he's talking about. Come on.
he took Eve. Now, this is a fact. Now we have to understand, what does it mean when you create a woman from the rib? What is a rib? A rib protects the internal organs, the heart and the rib. If the rib is mishandled, it fractures, it breaks. And what does that do to the man? It leaves him vulnerable. It leaves him hurt. But if a man handles this rib, protects this rib, uplifts this rib, guides this rib.
Oh, crap. This dude is full of crap. So he was sent here to label, the whole this is a tree, this is a bear thing, that was useless. He just said that so he can talk a lot. That was just useless. And now he's saying the rib is to protect the man. So you got to protect the rib, man. Wait, what? The rib was meant to protect you, so you got to protect it. What? Okay. You're an idiot.
Rib loves this rib. This woman is able to become something greater than what she was created, which uplifts the man himself.
Huh?
So God gave a man responsibility before he gave him a woman. He didn't say, here's Adam and here's Eve. He says, here's Adam and here's a responsibility.
He gave you Eve to help with your responsibility. That's what a helpmate is. Yeah.
And then when God was seen that he was fit to be considered a man and a head, which God is the head of man and man is the head of woman, he then gave God Eve. And then what happened, brother? And then what happened?
You tell me. Because I'm gonna add the context. I want you to
No,
finish.
we can go in deep. If you want chapters, whatever, we can do this. But I need every young man listening to me that was raised in a home without a father. Young girls that was raised in homes without fathers. Your mother is divine greatness. Your mother is beautiful. I don't care what no man says about you, your mother, or where you.
Why? This has gone really far away from 50-50 versus 100%. Like, nothing he said in his whole Garden of Eden thing had anything to do with providing for the woman. Like he's basically saying that she came from his rib, which I thought was a very weird thing on the Bible, because as far as I know, I'm not lopsided. Like I have the same amount of ribs on one side than the other. As far as I know, anatomy has never been my thing. I know where my feet, hands, and penis is, and that's pretty much all I care about. But I'm assuming that I have the same amount of ribs on my left side as my right side. So in order for the whole rib thing to be true, Adam would have had to have like lopsided ribs. And then God took one, and now it was even, So yeah, I don't really get that part of the Bible. But he brought that up, and none of this have anything to do with this. And now he's just saying, worship your mama. Like, where does all this pay 100%? What does this have to do with paying 100% of the bills? Oh, and this goes into the black people being stupid stuff. I remember I used to think this in church a lot when I was a kid. Black people have a strong focus on how things are said versus what is said. And I noticed that with the pastors, and if you look at like Baptist versus Catholic churches and things like that, it's really or just Black Baptist churches versus non-Baptist. It's really just focused on the music, the tambourine, and every now and again a fat woman gets the Holy Ghost. Like it's really all that. It's really like a lot of theatrics and not enough education, in my opinion. There's a real strong focus on how stuff is said versus what's being said. I remember, and I can't stand when they do this. And now that I'm grown, y'all might catch me knocking a pastor out for doing this. Like, so when you're young, when you're a kid and you go to a funeral or two, and they don't stop doing this, I swear it pisses me off every time. You get these grandstanding pastors that speak at the funeral, but they're speaking in order to recruit other members, not in remembrance of the beloved person that the departed. And they speak with the same theatrics. And then they always give like snide remarks, but because it's a funeral and the departed, the deceased, they have like people in the funeral who are not necessarily Baptist. These people are Muslim, these people are Catholic, these people are even Jewish, and here the pastor goes and stands up and talk crap about all of them just because. And the black people are there just flapping their fins. It's like, hey, wait a minute. He said some snide crap, to the departed's co-workers, to the departed's wife. Like, nobody really peeped that. So it's this weird thing that they do. They pay attention to, black people, we pay attention to how something is said versus what is said.
You can go. Strive to elevate. Strive to become the best version you are before you get into a relationship.
And that's why he's doing that. That's why he upped his preacher game, because he realized that Anton Daniels, had a point, and he actually said something of substance. Now he's focused on how stuff is being said.
Says about you, your mother, or where you can go. Strive to elevate. Strive to become the best version you are before you get into a relationship, so you don't have to drag a woman through the same things your fathers did to your mothers. Love yourself enough to provide for yourself. So when you get into a relationship with a woman, you don't have to abandon her or drag her through your turmoils. All praises is completely due to the Most High. Go ahead, my brother.
You know what's so funny about that story? The part that he left out
What's that?
is that she hearkened to the voice of the serpent. And the man was
Dang, he just killed his whole sermon. Dang, Anton is cold. That's why he has a beard, because he's cold. That was cold. He killed his whole sermon with one sentence. Dang, brother. And that one sentence really is just like, it really brings the analogy full circle. Because he's basically saying, listen, you can do what you are supposed to be doing as a man, and the woman still betrays you. The serpent in this analogy could be like the divorce court. It could be like the pool boy. It could be like a dude with a bigger garden, which happens all the time.
wasn't there to protect her. God was. They had everything. They didn't even know that they was naked. He made her because he said that it wasn't good for man to be alone. And he didn't point to figure it out. He let him name every single thing that was in the garden. And the context matters. And this is what happens when you know your word. And the interesting part about it is the devil know parts of the Bible too. Oh, man. The devil know parts of the Bible too. So that the serpent itself was able to beguile Eve because he understood what God told them not to do, to not to eat from that tree, not to eat that fruit. And although she had all of the covering that she could ever want and need, there is no greater provider than God himself. And you know what she did? She was disobedient. She still ate. And not only did she eat, she went and she gave it to her husband too, which then got them kicked out. And then they had to put.
He's smiling to make it seem like he has an intelligent comeback, but he has nothing. He just completely obliterated his point, and he is still talking. Like he demolished his whole thing in the first sentence, and he's still talking, and dude is smiling like, nah, but brother, you don't know what I have brewing in my brain. You have nothing. You have nothing brewing in your brain right now. You're just going to talk louder. You're just going to talk louder and more preacher-esque. You're going to talk louder and more preacher-esque after he's finished.
Put cherubims around the tree of life so that they wouldn't eat it and become gods themselves. That's scripture. And then their children was raised up to then kill one another because one of them was jealous of the other. And then the children then became generational curses as a result of what the beguilement was from the wife, from Eve.
Brother.
No.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay.
That's literally what happened. So my point is that context matters. It's not just looking at it on the surface.
Definitely.
It's deep diving into the understanding. You need to get a concordance. You should get a concordance because I don't know what book you read. I don't know what version you understand, but you got to get it.
What's that on his lip?
Concordance to understand what words mean. And you need to understand exactly what God instructed Adam to do because he wasn't disobedient. He was punished for the thing that you tell women to do and you tell men to do. You said, people sent me a video of you saying a man should give 100% of his check to his wife. God punished Adam because he hearkened to the voice of his woman and he wasn't the leader that you saying with both tongues, because it's speaking from both tongues, that you said that men should do. It's the opposite of what God instructed man to do.
That's what he just said is so beautiful.
He's about to say but and then go into another sermon. And notice how he interrupted, because he couldn't just take the pounding that Anton was giving him. But yeah, he's like, that's beautiful. He's about to say but.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 through 6. Adam was right next to Eve when the serpent gave her the fruit to eat. He was right next to her.
All right, I got to get my Bible on that. Got to get my Bible. Give me a second, y'all. Take this time out to hit that like button. All right. All right, let's take a look. Genesis chapter 3. What's this? What chapter am I in? All right, hold on. This is Cain and Abel, so this is okay. 2 and 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than the beast to find which the Lord God had made. And he said unto woman, yeah. Okay, this is Genesis 3. It doesn't mention him being next to Adam. He said unto woman, yeah, hath God said, you shall not eat of the tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we shall eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither you shall touch it, yes, ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not truly die. Okay, this is 4. Let's see. It doesn't mention her being next to Adam. This dude is full of crap. This dude is complete full of shit. Unless it says in 5 and 6, let's see. For God doth know that the day that ye eat of it, your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And now here's 6. He said, verses 1 through 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree, it doesn't mention Adam is there, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took on the fruit and thereof, and did eat, and gave it unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Okay, so it doesn't say that they were next to each other. It just says that she gave it to her husband. Not like, it doesn't say whether it's immediate or not. So yeah, full of crap. Somebody said it's the King James version. GC LeBron James said LeBron James. That is, yeah. Okay.
Genesis. Anybody? Genesis.
I told you he was going to get preachier. I told y'all he was going to get preachier.
This guy's crazy.
Chapter 1. Listen to me. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 through 6. Can somebody read that for me?
I just did.
What version?
I'm gonna pull that up. I'm gonna pull that up. Genesis.
What version?
Let's go King James just to keep
man,
it.
I went to the
King James just to keep it standard.
And Lano, can we pull that up? Can we pull that up, Lano? Is that possible?
We're no longer allowing men to walk us around circles and sound like they know what they're talking about.
Oh no, you know
Genesis,
you know
chapter 3,
let's
verse
go
1 through 6. Can somebody please read?
Listen, we're gonna pull that up. And listen, shout out to the chat. We're gonna pull that up. Genesis chapter 1 through 6. We got 3,300 people in the chat. That's between initiates, NDBA, and the bag chasers all going crazy tonight. And I dropped the poll, guys. We already got 1,200 people chimed in on that poll. Who will win tonight's debate is already getting heated. Should men pay 100% of the bills? And it's funny because it's 52% to 48%. So pretty much it's 50-50.
After you read this, I'm going to break down the generational curse. This brother didn't know what he was talking about.
Okay,
Let's do this.
Let's send that link to Lano. Send that link to Lano.
Let's go ahead. Yo, I'm going to read this joint. Your mic is good.
Good.
Can you
Make sure y'all get y'all hardly initiated cards. Too.
So check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and start reading this. Lano, go ahead. You gonna get that sent to Lano to put it on.
Trying to get it to Lano, yeah.
Now, Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall y'all touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened.
He getting nervous. He getting nervous because what's happening now, and this is when I read it. Once again, I would not have taken the time out to poorly. He reads the Bible better than I do. To poorly read the Bible to you all, if I'd known this was coming up. So just to let y'all know, this is a fresh watch for me. I haven't seen this before, but he's getting nervous right now because all we're hearing is an interaction between the woman and the serpent. The woman and the serpent, that's all we're hearing right now. This is all we're hearing talking back and forth. And he's getting nervous. Look at him. He's nervous. He's nervous. He's nervous. Y'all ever put more money than y'all should on like a blackjack hand or a baccarat hand? Y'all ever go like balls out, knowing that rent's due or something like that? And you just put it on the table, and then you get that 11, and the dealer got a 6 showing, and then you say double down, and then you put that on the table again, and it's like, all right, and then the dealer comes and you're hoping that he get that 16 and then he get that 26. You're looking and you're getting nervous. You're getting nervous. You're just staring and you're getting nervous. And you get mad at the person for hitting and taking the dealer's bus card. You're getting nervous. You're getting nervous. He's getting nervous. Look at him. He's getting nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
That's correct.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the
He's getting nervous.
eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
With her.
That does not, no.
Okay. To eat with her. He found his out. That's funny. Okay, let's see.
Not what it means.
Read that
That's
again,
not
please.
what it means.
Read that again, please.
That's not what it means.
Let me read it one more time. Let me read this one more
That's
time.
not what it means, and you know better.
Now you want to change
You
the
know
word.
better. No,
Hold
it's
that up,
not
Lama.
changing
Hold
the
that up.
word.
Hold on,
You
wait,
know
see
that's
that.
not what it
Guys,
means.
hold on, wait, 1 second. This is actually chapter 3. I'm reading verse 6 again. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her.
With her.
But no, but see,
With her.
here's the key. No, here's the key.
Now he want to change the word of God.
Nope, don't overtalk me. She talked to the serpent
Scroll up,
by
Lano.
herself.
Yeah.
She ate from the tree by herself, and then she took with her and then dined with her husband.
That's not what it says.
Listen. That is what happened in the word.
Man.
He wants to, and here's the
Okay. Let me say this. I can see how he would interpret it that way, but it is an extraordinary stretch. It is an extraordinary stretch. But that type of stretch is what makes him who he is. Because basically what he's doing is he's looking for an out for Eve. But this isn't an out for Eve. Let's just say what he's saying is true. And the whole time Adam was standing there putting up with the bullshit. Adam was wrong for not leading the situation. Adam was wrong for letting the serpent come in and get in the bitch's ear. And God even says that. God even says that once he found out what happened. Even though he should be omniscient and, he's and omnipresent, so he should have been there too. But though it's weird, just bear with me for a second. Even if it because look at how this looks. If it happened the way he described, then the serpent just went there, talked to Adam, and ignored or talked to Eve and ignored Adam. And Adam just stood there while this serpent was telling this bitch what to do. Now, as a result of Adam standing there, provided that what he's saying is true, while another man talked to his bitch, get in his bitch's ear, then what happened later was, let's see, hold on. In Genesis, hold on. Hold on, let's see. He said unto the house, eat no of the tree, therefore he commanded that I shall not eat. Let's see. And the man said, the woman who thou gave me to be with, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, so verse 12 says, and the man said, the woman who thou gaveth to be with me, she gave me the tree, and I did eat. Okay, so according to that, Adam wasn't at the tree. So, yeah, it did not happen as dude is transpiring. And I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I read a little bit further, and it does read as if Eve gave him the fruit. He wasn't convinced by the serpent as well because he wasn't there. Like later, Adam does not mention the interaction with the serpent. He says that he got the fruit from the woman. Once again, he said, and the man said, the woman who thou gave it to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate it. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. Somebody says it's clear he cannot read. Well, I can read modern grammar, but I do falter on the Bible. Absolutely. Are you talking about me or are you talking about dude? All right, let's see. It says, and the Lord said unto the woman, what is thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me. Didn't say us. Yeah, Adam wasn't there. And I did eat. That's 13. And the Lord said unto the serpent, thou hast cursed above all cattle and above all every beast in the field upon the belly. Let's see. I will put enmity between the seed and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. I think that means that she's going to step on the snake. I don't know. But unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be for thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. People like him never really mention verse 16. That clearly states the man is the head, and he shall rule over thee, which means, bitch, get me a sandwich. Unto thy woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception. Dang, that was cold. That was cold. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be for thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Also, verse 17, and unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife. Now, notice he didn't say the serpent. Notice he didn't say the serpent. He said the wife, meaning that Adam did not hear the words of the serpent. And has eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, has eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, yeah, that's right there, right? Okay, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground that thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Okay, I think he's just saying that he got to eat the tree forever. So, yeah, when you read further, it does become blatantly clear that he was not present to hear the serpent's words.
The beautiful part about this is that he's so stuck on pandering.
Oh man,
he's so stuck. And here's the beautiful part about this is that regardless of what man that you have, regardless of your covering, he's going to suffer no matter what. He has to pay the price. Men today understand that regardless of whether or not we get you impregnated or not, we still have to be responsible for that. We go to jail regardless of if we want to take care of that kid or not. If we decide that we don't want to pay child support, even if it's not your child, a woman can put your name on the birth certificate and you will be imprisoned as a result of it. That is just the facts. It's men every single day that go to jail for things that they didn't do. They get accused of things that they didn't do every single day, meaning that men by default.
Why is this dude smiling? That's weird.
Even back in the word of God, is held accountable for the things that their wife do, but it doesn't absolve the woman from being responsible for her own decisions. It does not. It does not absolve.
That was just a random interruption.
Of her at all, and that's the part of the context that we're missing. We always want to put it on the men. And justifiably so, because men have to be responsible, and you've never seen how great a society is without men being great themselves. But we don't live in that time.
Oh, praises. Now, I want to finish what I was saying about.
But I'm gonna let
Genesis.
him finish.
Thank you so much.
Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead.
Thank you
go
so
ahead,
much. Thank you so much.
Ah, crap.
From Genesis, chapter 3. Verse 1 through 6.
He just read it.
Listen to me, please, man. I speak. That's
You're right. I'm sorry.
I appreciate you so much. Genesis chapter 3.
Okay, don't act like he wasn't just interrupting him.
You read
1
it.
through 6.
Yes,
1
sir.
through 6,
that
right?
was 1 through
Yep.
6. Yes, sir.
Did it say that Eve walked down the street?
No.
Did it say she ran around the corner? She said she gave it to her husband.
Well, it didn't say that she didn't do those things.
That was right next to meaning.
It didn't say right
brother,
next.
It didn't say right. Yeah, okay. I'll let
Brother,
it.
brother, that was
you
with her.
pervert the word of God.
Can we read it one more time? It's on the screen.
He didn't say
Can
he
we
was right
place it
next to
again?
her.
And
Can we
Gabe-
place?
He said
Hold on.
that she
Anton,
talked
hold
to the
on for 1
serpent
minute,
by
brother.
herself.
1 minute,
he
brother.
was not there.
Brother, 1 minute, brother,
So check
please.
it out. I got it. It says, and Gabe also, she took
Also,
of the
brother,
fruit-
brother.
she
Thank
took
you.
of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also
Thank
unto
you.
her husband with her.
So you're going to ignore
and
also?
With her.
he did
You're going to
eat.
ignore also?
Can you read it again? Because some I don't know if
I didn't
what
see
he learned
anywhere.
English from.
I didn't see anywhere in that
Where'd you
scripture.
learn?
Yeah, so basically the serpent gave Eve the fruit. She ate it, and then they ate the fruit together. Like she took some more and she ate it with him. That's pretty much what happened.
On your
Where it
English.
said that
Okay,
Adam was
let me
there
finish,
while
brother.
she was having a
Let me finish.
conversation.
I
And when
understand
she
you don't
picked-
like to be
and when
proven
she
wrong. I
picked the
got
fruit
you.
off
Oh,
of
we
the
gotta
tree.
have, we gotta have
I
one
didn't
mic.
see that.
We
Yeah.
gotta have one mic, guys, just so because we
I'm
gotta
gonna finish. Thank you so much.
we gotta
So
get
let's get it.
context
So
on this.
Genesis 1 through 6.
Right. First, I want to say, Antoine, I love you. And I'm glad that you came here to speak with me today. We don't have to get emotional, over talk, yell. It's not about proving points, bro. We're going to show
He was yelling the whole damn time.
facts. That's it. You said talking points, right? You said we couldn't go into context. Now, as we see, when a man leaves a woman unprotected,
What the hell?
she doesn't just get hurt. Her family beneath her gets hurt. Now we're going to step into what the brother was talking about, generational curses. The generational curse fell on the sons. You okay, brother? I
I'm
thought you were having a
listening.
seizure. Your neck was moving a little bit. You
I'm
okay?
listening
Just making sure you're okay.
because you're doing the Kamala
Bro,
Harris.
no, brother,
But go
please,
ahead.
please, brother. Thank you so much. I love you, brother, really. When Adam and Eve, Adam is the head over woman. God is the head over man. When Adam ate, God came to him, and I'll give you a check if you want to, because I know I like to go back, and this is what I do. He ate of the fruit. Like the brother said, he was naked. God came to him and said, why are you hiding? He said, I'm naked. He said, who told you you're naked? Yes or no? You agree with that part? Thank you so much for agreeing. He then asked him, who told you you were naked? He said, the woman that you gave me the fruit, and I ate.
Yeah, so he didn't get it directly from, like, he wasn't at the tree when it happened. I mean, because here's the thing. And here, let me get the Bible out. Anton should not have let him take him down this particular rabbit hole, because now it's just he lured you into a strange place. Is what it is, though. Let's see. And he said unto women, let's see. Woman said unto Sir, we may eat of all the fruit in the garden, but of the fruit of the tree, which is in the midst of the garden. So the fact that she described the fruit of the tree that is in the midst of the garden means that she wasn't at the tree at the time. Why is that significant? What is that? What it means is that she actually had to walk to the midst of the tree, because she was describing to the serpent where it is. It's over there in the midst. Now, the Bible doesn't mention that she went over to the misty tree, but it does mention that she ate of the fruit. So it is implied that she did travel, just like it's implied that she did travel to Adam so that they can eat of the fruit together. Amen. All right.
Took no responsibility over that woman. Now this turns into a generational curse, which goes down to Cain and Abel. When a man leaves a woman unprotected, we're going to see death in high numbers, as we do right now. Detroit, Chicago, New York, they're even rapping about it, calling it drill music. But if men, young...
This dude is a spectacular simp. This Negro said that when men leave women unprotected, men die. That's what he said. Because these are black men that are dying. Probably trying to protect these broads. In fact, almost definitely trying to protect these broads. When men leave women unprotected, men die. Antondaniels fucked up by letting the conversation drift way past 100% versus 50-50. He let him, he took him into his comfort zone. And his comfort zone just so happens to be Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 6. That is his only comfort zone ever, because he can only read the first 3 pages of the Bible. That is, he let him drag him into that, and now he's, yeah. It could have gone better. He had the high ground.
Young men had fathers in their lives that could elevate them, love their mothers, appreciate their mothers, guide their mothers, because when a man...
Now he's just talking nonsense. Now he's just taken, his only 6 verses of the Bible that he knows, and he's trying to tie it into taking care of your mama.
Loves a woman, the children will be protected. But when a woman has to pick up the slack of a man and become a man, more masculine in her approach with her sons.
Cain and Abel has nothing to do with the whole 50-50, 100%. It really doesn't. And that's bad on Anton for bringing that up, and that's bad on him for perpetuating it. But he's basically saying, because Adam messed up,
into something other than
because Adam messed up, somehow that has something to do with Cain deleting Abel. This is all over the place. This is pathetic.
in himself. And now we're seeing murder at high numbers. We're still going through the sin.
There's no correlation. There's no correlation between the two things whatsoever. Like, none of this has to do with 50-50.
Of Adam not being a provider and a teacher, because a provider isn't just financial. Providing is emotionally, mentally, spiritually, intellectually. This is what a provider is.
That's exactly what Anton said at the beginning, while you were saying that a man should provide 100% financially. Anton was saying that there's several different forms of provisions. Still has nothing to do with Cain and Abel, both of whom provided. Abel was, a tiller of like the metals, and Cain of the land, of the fruits and stuff like that. Like, it's still, they were working, they were providing. What the hell are you talking about?
And when a man's unable to do that, we see what's going on. Young girls not knowing how to choose a man, and men speaking down to women. This is what's going on. This is the sin of.
Well, it does say that he should rule over thee, which means that he should be speaking down to her because he's over her. He's ruling over her, according to your own Bible.
Of Adam, not the sin of Eve, but you men believe that.
Adam was punished not for eating the fruit, but to hearkening unto the voice of the woman.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why he don't understand. See, he'll move the goalposts and start talking about drill music and all of this other nonsense. That's not true. Let me tell you something. God punished her. He punished her first. He punished the woman. He didn't punish the man because of the woman. He punished the man.
No, he punished the man because he listened to the woman.
For hearkening unto the voice of the woman. And that's the context. How can you sit there and say, because she wasn't provided for and protected, when at that time, before sin was committed, God was the provider and the protector? So did she sin against her husband, or did she sin against God?
Are you asking a question?
Yes, that's a question.
It was a question. And it was obvious a question.
She sins against both.
Did she sin against her husband, or did she sin against God?
Both.
Well,
so it was God that, it really doesn't matter. He's just saying that to distract, but I'll bite for a second. She sinned against God because God was the person who told her not to eat of the tree. So it was a sin against God.
that would make you a hypocrite. That would make you contradictory, because I'm gonna explain to you how.
Please.
Because you said that she wasn't provided and protected for.
Mm-hmm.
God had gave them everything that they could ever need.
Mm-hmm.
Their responsibility was to make sure that they listened to God and did what he's supposed to do. They only had one rule.
That's beautiful, bro.
There was only one rule, not to eat from that fruit. That's it.
That wasn't it.
That was the rule.
No, it wasn't.
That was the rule.
No, it wasn't.
And they said,
okay, now he's being a contrarian. And he's really trying to distract. That was the rule. The Bible doesn't mention any other rules. Like, there isn't, don't do that either. if there were other rules, it's not mentioned in the first 2 chapters of Genesis. So yeah.
Sinned against God. They were punished as a result of it. So for you to say that she wasn't protected and provided for is a lie, because then that would mean that you convicting God.
Okay, that was something. That was something. I was introduced to a new personality there, and yeah, like there isn't really much much else to say on that. There really isn't much else to say on that. Like it could have went better, but hindsight is 2020. I definitely agree with Anton more that this is a matter of a case by case scenario, not blanket rules. See, here's the thing about women. Once you have and this actually is true about Eve as well. Once you have a set of rules to abide by, they will constantly seek loopholes and ways around those rules. I'm going to repeat that. Once you have a set of rules that you abide by, they will constantly find ways to maneuver those rules to those benefits, to their benefit. For example, if there's a rule like, you must protect your woman at all costs, then they'll come up with something like, oh, okay, he must protect me at all costs, so I can go out and start some shit, and he has to protect me. Like, they could start wars that way. So they seen a rule, and they like, okay, with this rule, I can start a war anytime I feel like. Shout out to Helen of Troy. Even though it may have happened different, but y'all get what I'm saying. They always do that. And that's why they look for certain types of guys. Because with these types of guys, they have your rule book. They have your rule book. If you are a church guy, they have your rule book. Like, okay, I can expect this, this, and this from a church guy, because those are the rules that he follows, and men rarely stray away from rules. If he is a noble knight or something like that, then they know that he has to do this, he's going to do this, he's going to do this, which means that I get to get away with this, this, and this. And if I do this, then, this will happen. And it's the same with the modern legal system. It's like, okay, these are the rules. I could divorce at any time, and I could take half his stuff because these are the rules. So they function under a system of rules because really most rules are designed for men. The only rules that she has is that she has to follow the rules of the man that she's with, and he's following the rules of a greater source, much like the Adam, Eve, God scenario. She can break the rules that is bestowed upon man and use those rules against him, as she did in the same scenario, without consequence. And of course, he takes all the burden of the accountability. So, yeah. So they know that, which is why you need to be dynamic in the rule. You need to be dynamic. If your rule is, oh yes, you're supposed to protect these, a perfect example. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Let me see. Australian tour guide leaves tour. Let me see if I can find it. Hit the like button, people. Probably not going to find it. Yeah, I'm not going to find it because there's so many things. Anyway, a coworker years ago, and I'm thinking that they might not even been in Australia, but I'm thinking that it was in Australia, it was Africa, but it was a white dude, right? This man said, look at that, but he had like an Australian accent or maybe a South African accent. He said, they seen something on the ground. The camera didn't show what it was, but they seen something on the ground. He's the tour guide. He's the great white hunter. He was like, leave that alone. And then one of the people in the tour group decided to touch it and meddle with it anyway. What it was, I don't know. It could have been a snake. It could have been like a poisonous plant. It could have been anything. He said, leave that alone. Don't mess with that. They messed with it. He just walked away. He just walked away and left the whole tour to their own devices, to their own survivals. He's just like, listen, I told your ass, don't mess with whatever that is. Now you did, and I know that the rules say that I'm supposed to be your great white hunter, but no, the rules say, my rules say don't mess with that. And that's how you got to be. You got to be dynamic. Yes, if the rules say protect your woman, then protect your woman. But if you're walking in the forest and there's a sleeping bear and she goes up and slaps it, and you tell her don't slap the sleeping bear, then hey, I am faster than you. I will run faster than you. And if I'm not faster than you, I will catch you, throw you to the bear, and run faster than you. I told your ass don't touch the bear. Leave the bear alone. If you see a bear and he's digging for honey in a beehive, don't try to steal his honey. Because not only will the bee sting you, but the bear will sting you. You got to be dynamic. And that's what they really can't stand, a dynamic man. Like, okay, I will provide under these set of circumstances. And if for whatever reason I see that this is not going to be a functional situation, then I will leave. Another example of knowing the rules and manipulating the rules to their favor. This whole forsaking all others, to death do us part. And this is why I always say, if your wife is not giving you booty, reasonably on demand, then you are not beholden to her. Any act that you commit with another woman at that point is not cheating. If she decides to stop doing her duty and giving up that booty, then you are not obligated by the rules of matrimony. You're not. You're not obligated by the rules of matrimony. They're like, oh no, you took a vow forsaking all others. Bitch! Listen to me good. You're not going to manipulate these rules against me. It doesn't work that way. I think dynamically. But what they'll do is they'll cut you off. They'll cut you off, and then the thinking is that you'll eventually cheat, and then they could just go to society and say, he cheated on me, so I had to leave. But really, you already left. You already left. You were just waiting to manipulate the situation so you can be seen as leaving under favorable circumstances. He cheated on me. It's like, no, bitch. So it's one of these things. Whenever you have a set of static rules, they will manipulate those rules. That is what the story of Adam and Eve is about. Let me read some comments. Right. It's supposed to be the ultimate rule book. Wouldn't you want it to be clear, and also wouldn't you want it to um, not be overshadowed by other religious books or human law? Yeah, I think that it was supposed to be the rule book of the time, and it's based on other rules of you know, other books of Abrahamic religions of the time as well. So it's all over the place, but all of the Abrahamic religions, one thing is clear, and that is the man is the head of the household. Right. That's one thing that's clear and universal through, you know, whether it's Judaism, whether it's, you know, Muslims, whether it's Catholic, whether it's Protestant, you know, that's the one thing that they have in common. And really, all functional civilizations, that is the one thing that all functional civilizations have in common. And we'll find out on January 5th if we will continue to be a functional civilization. Just saying. Yeah, he did do more of a talking, and he did do more yelling, and he uses I'm telling you, black people, you could tell, as long as you say it in the right tone, you could pretty much sell a black person on anything. I seen a commercial of something called God Water. I think that's what it was called. It was like God Water. And it was a white guy selling like little envelopes of water to black people. And then in the commercial, it was saying, if you drink it, you'll get money from somewhere. Let me look that up. It was the weirdest thing ever. Hey, tell me if y'all know the name of that thing. It's a commercial. It's a white guy. It's an older white guy. And it was like God's spring water or some crap like that. And, oh, wait, is this it? I'll recognize the guy's face if I seen it. But this dude was selling water to these Negroes, telling them that if they drink it or something, if they followed the instructions, because water comes with instructions, that they'll get a check from somewhere. And then if something happened, like they get a stimulus check, Miracle Spring Water, thank you. If they get a check from somewhere, like from stimulus or something like that, or you know, a relative passes, he'll put them on the commercial saying, you see, that's because you drank this water. Then, you know what's better than God water? A job. Or getting a husband with a job. Hold on. See if I can find the commercial. Oh, it says do not ingest the water. Holy crap. All right. Let me share this with y'all. Do not ingest the Miracle Spring Water. Holy crap. Okay, so this is a page. So you fill out your stuff. Oh, you fill out this web form and they send you this crap. We believe anything. We believe. How do you think pimps exist? Like, if you say something to a black woman the right way, she'll pretty much do anything. Oh, he talking right. Pimp, preacher, politician. All you got to do is say it the right way. Say it with the right tonal influxes. It really don't matter the words that you use at that point. If you can master a pimp's tone, you can pretty much say, I want you to suck some dick and give me the money for it. Okay. You said it in the right tone. You gave me a dark-skinned stare. I don't blame women for being this way. I really don't. You know, like they were born and that's the way that's the way they are. I just want men to be aware that that is the scenario that you're dealing with. Something like that should not be pedestalized. Holy crap, I just came across a hard realization. I just came across a hard realization. And that is the serpent in the Bible was talking like a pimp. Oh, that is a harsh realization. The serpent in the Bible was talking like a pimp. The serpent in the Bible just slithered up to Eve like, hey, why don't you come over here, bitch, and let me rap to you for a second. You see, you've been listening to them squares up theirs because of those holy stairs. But let me tell you something. What I'm offering you is some wisdom, some knowledge. I'm giving you the opportunity to be like the Most High. Because let me tell you something. As long as he's the Most High, then you are the most low. And how you going to be the most low unless you a hoe? So what you need to do is you need to get to go over there and eat up that fruit. And then I want you to take that fruit to that square ass nigga over there. And I want you to feed it to him too. Because you don't know that you're naked. You don't know the power of your nudity. So you're giving it away for free. But I'm going to tell you, you need to put some clothes on and sell that to him. You need to sell that to him. You need to know. You need to know the principles of the hoe. Now go on, bitch, and get that fruit for me. I'm willing to bet that the serpent talked to her in a pimpish tone. Pimpin' Eve. That is something. All right, let me read some more. This is ridiculous when you think about it. 70% of Black babies are born out of wedlock. BP that married Black people that marry and Black people that breed are different people. Agreed. I could not even give this my time. Yeah. Nika is baby mama Sherpa preacher. I don't know what that means. Eve ate the fruit and then Eve fed Adam the same fruit. Yeah, exactly. They ate it together. Wait, was this debate about the Bible or yeah, exactly. He let dude drag him into his comfort zone. GC, Eve's curiosities. I think that she just fell for the pimp tone. And the snake and the serpent wasn't the serpent. That was the skin of the boots. They just see serpent skin boots, you know, or some type of reptilian skin boots, and they like, oh yeah. Somebody said pimped her into clothes. Yeah, exactly. He pimped her into clothes. He's like, I want you to put a fig leaf over that pussy. I wish there were stats of how many black men marry black women who already have children. Yeah, that would be something. That already have somebody else's children. I agree. The crazy part is, even if he was 100% wrong, it wouldn't help his point. Exactly. Like he was able to take him off his thing, but oh well. He's pushing a false narrative of black men leaving. He talked to false idols, forked tongue, etc., etc. Okay, let's see. I don't respect a dude who pushes white supremacist narrative. Elaborate on that, Cortez. We all saw women were the ones leaving the families. Agreed. I mean, they were monetizing families. It's a made-up book. Depends on who you ask. You know, I mean, you can't prove a negative, so you know, it's hey, it's presented. You know, says yeah, that allowed him to gas up the debate with premium unleaded. Exactly, yeah, it took it to a very weird place, and the majority of the debate was on that. But the truth of the matter is, it really doesn't matter what happened in the Bible because we live in now. And in none of the Bible stories, anybody was paying 100% or 50% or anything. Okay, the gynocracy has a preacher to promote black men paying 100% for the poorest demographic in the U.S., the highest STD rate, the highest STDs in the U.S., and the most out of wedlock children in the U.S. Like, nigga, why legitimize? Yeah, exactly. You got to be dynamic. Is he hooked up to GPT to bro yapping? What's GTP or GPT? I think that's a music band. Says these dudes are trying to turn provisions into female endeavors. It has nothing to do with the emotional intelligence. Okay, well, somebody said that he sells herbs and stuff. Listen, there are people in this world, even if it seems inaccurate, there are people in this world who want to see money exchange hands from men to women, because no matter what, it's easier to sell to women, especially if you can speak in a pimp/preacher tone. It's easier to sell anything to women. So if you have a product, let's just say a car or a shoe or anything, then you want the women to be in control of the purse strings because they spend a lot for very little. You take a shoe that's worth $20 and a black shoe that's worth $20, and then you paint the bottom of it red, then all of a sudden it's worth $3,000 or $9,000. Women fall for stuff like that. They're like, oh, it's more valuable now. So really, you just sold them some red leather paint for thousands of dollars. Now you want to make sure. Now, where does she get these thousands of dollars from? Well, they don't care, but they hope that she gets it from her man or whatever. They like, listen, get that money, and fellas, you give her money so she could give it to me for some crap that you don't need. Like maybe his herbs are crap. Also, if I was to make a rule book for my creation to follow, I would, let's see. I would make one that couldn't be printed and was only readable from the sky. Okay. So, yeah, I could tell that you're not really. Now, I think Anton was trying to say that the mother sucked. So the rules was yeah, exactly. You should be prepared. I mean, like Adam was following the rules until he was following the helpmate. I mean, I think he's seen her, and this is actually something else. I think Adam seen Eve as something more than a helpmate. He seen Eve as something that was as a messenger, as a go-between of God. He's seen her as an authority figure because God made her. And of course he follows God. So of course he's going to follow something that he witnessed being made by God. And that's why he said, like, hey, wait a minute. The person that you sent me told me to do it. You know, like, for all I know, she's your messenger. I don't know how this works. And then God made it clear, like, she's not a messenger or anything like that. She's this here hoe. Adam was naive, untested. Most of us would make that fatal flaw. Yeah, agreed. In today's world, are people not living an impassable test? Elaborate. Lilith too, but she just outright rebelled and left. Yep. Imagine living life on. I have a crash out to protect my missteps. Mm-hmm. If you allow women to convince you, it's all on you, young Adam. Well, there was never a rule against that in his defense. Real men pay all the bills. Oh, gosh, it's all caps. Real men pay for their wife and children. Okay. A woman has to have a real man care for her, her children, and her children. Ever notice? Okay, real men don't let bitches call their children her children. Just by saying her children means that you're not fit for provisions. It means that you do not understand family, like on an unconscious level. You don't understand family structure. You didn't say the children. You didn't say their children. You said her children. Because you look at the children as something that belongs to her. And that's a sentiment that you're going to take when you inevitably leave this guy. You see, this is what I'm talking about when I say they look for opportunities to break rules. They look for opportunities to break rules. Thanks a lot, Chowhound. Appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna get to yours in a second. And then it says, if you expect to have a traditional wife, then you need to pay. This is that hoe talk. How much did Adam pay? Curious. See, your only property, because this is her turning women into property. Your only property in a woman's eyes when you are buying her. But when the woman leaves, it's like, oh no, I'm not your property. Or when you attempt to get her to behave as your property that you paid for, and they revolt because they can, because they don't follow the rules, but you do. Then it's like, oh yeah, I'm not your property. I'm not your slave. It's like, but I paid for you. And ever notice how modern women, you're paying it to the woman. You're not paying it to the father, you know, like a dowry or something in certain cultures. You're paying it to the woman, and she's setting the price. Crap. Let's see what else. All right. Cheap men. Now, okay. This is my point. She's calling men cheap. You see, it's not a matter of if a man is willing to take care of a woman or 100%. Because there are men and there are cultures that do that. They do that all the time. But they call you cheap because they don't want to just be taken care of. They want to be pampered with luxury items. See, it's not a matter of if you are willing to pay 100% of the necessities. It's a matter of if you're paying 100% of all the shit that she wants. Cheap man keeps a lady box dry. No one cares about the moisture of your box, Tamiko, and I think you know that. Listen, if you could have had a guy who's actually concerned with your box moisture level, then you would sell him then he would have purchased you at the price that you present. Nobody is buying. No sale. Either a man pays or he can have a permanent relationship with his left hand. Okay. Okay. You see, once you go into a realm of paying, right? Then you are the commodity, means that you have to sell yourself to me. And that means that men have embraced it like, okay, I am buying this particular commodity, which means I want to get the most bang for my buck. And guess what? You have the least. You have the least bang for any man's buck. I did a video the day before yesterday. This man is 56 years old. He lived with his Filipina girlfriend, turned wife. They live on $1,000 a month. More bang, less buck. Or excuse me. More bang, less buck. And sweetie, it's not worth the bucks to bang you. The banged buck ratio for you and your hair is not favorable to most men. Good point. Emphasis on wife and children, not girlfriend and somebody else's kid. Good point. Women believe that quietly, wholeheartedly, if you're not getting what you need. Yeah. Did he cheat because you turned off the phone? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I don't consider it cheating. It's kind of like if your job stopped paying you, and then when you inevitably quit, they tell unemployment like, oh, no, he quit. It's like, well, yeah, they stopped paying me. Yeah, no, you quit. He quit. He quit. We didn't fire him. He quit. It's kind of like that. Most modern women today are selling vaginas. Yeah. And using kids to extract more resources out of men. Absolutely. That's why she called it her kids. No man should support modern women 100%, as she can always change her mind and still benefit from both. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me reach out because he sent the $50. Greatly appreciate that, brother. Greatly appreciate that. It says, I'm not giving a woman access to my funds or account credit cards. Some okay, but others no. Absolutely. That's why I say you take it on a case-by-case basis. Do not have a set rule. Do not have a set rule. Think about it. When do women ever have set rules for anything? Like, okay. When do they have set rules that they follow? Men would do the same thing if women actually followed society rules. Dang, this chair. If they actually followed society rules, then men would behave the same way. If all a man had to do was follow a set of rules and he gets the pussy, then men would follow those rules. For example, if the rule book said, if you offer a woman to buy a drink and she accepts it, then she must go out on a date with you. If you bring her flowers on that date, then she must go out on a second date with you. If on the second date you take her to a nice dinner and open the door for her, then she must go on a third date. If the third date goes well, she must fuck you. If there was like a sequence of rules like that, men would exploit it. But women don't follow the rules like that. Women are just drink your drink and then step the fuck off. Or she'll take the drink that you buy for her and give it to her brother or her friend right in front of your ass. And then ask for another one. They do not follow. They're not a rule ever. But your ass do. They do not follow a rule ever. You say meet me at 6 p.m. or some crap like that. Meet me here at this time or something like that. See if they follow that rule. See if they follow that. See if they follow any rule. What do you think ghosting is? Like all this shit. When do they follow rules ever? It's only you. They manipulate rules to their advantage. They are exposing that 2,500 Dior bags are worth $57. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, but they pay 2,500 because they don't understand the difference between cost and value. They figure that if something costs a lot, then it must be of greater value. They're stupid like that. And they drag you into the stupidity. Notice how they never turn down the drink. Well, modern women don't because they have went against the rules. They went against the rules. The rule was that you are not a lady, did not accept drinks from guys unless she was interested. That used to be the rule. But now they're like, okay, that is your rule to buy a drink. It's not my rule. I don't owe you anything. I mean, the rule used to be if you got pregnant, you gave birth to the baby, but you know, they obviously don't want that rule. Like, that's what divorce is. Divorce is like, I don't wish to follow this rule, but I know you did. That's why you married in the first place. It's like, yeah, this whole death do us part, sickness and health, richer or poor thing. Fuck that. That shit played. Rules are for men. That's what's going on. Okay, so blessed man. Let's see. So yeah, bless you, men. I appreciate it. All right, hold on. It says confirm. I gotta confirm my personal info. There we go. Done. Okay, anyway. Where was I? Yeah, notice that they never turn down a drink. Women go to hookup dating sites and then not hook up. Then seeking serious relationship rules. Well, really, almost every hookup dating site was a relationship site. Like Tinder, all that. These were relationship sites. But then they turned into hookup sites because that's the direction that society pushed it in. They understand that more men want hookups than relationships. And since men are the ones paying the bill, they're like, oh, no, you go here to get laid. All you got to do is swipe and somebody will suck your dick. But the thing is that they go to hookup sites and not hook up. That is breaking the rule. The rule is if you are at this hookup site, then you're supposed to hook up. You got to suck somebody's dick, but nope. They go there and get as much attention as they possibly can, sucking very few dicks, if any. And that's why the industry is failing. Because when you don't follow the rules and you're constantly looking for ways to break the rules, then it's going to collapse. The dating sites are like, listen, we need you to suck some dick. We need you to suck a reasonable amount of dicks in order to keep the guys giving you attention. You have to, you know, the bars, the nightclubs and stuff like that. They like, listen, you got to suck some dick. These are the rules. If you want to keep this nightclub open, you got to suck some dick. We can't have another night where it's 90% women and it's 10% men not buying you broads drinks. I got to pay the DJ. I got to pay the bartender. I got to pay for all this shit. I got to pay the bouncer. Like, I got to pay, you know, for the person that sets up the velvet ropes. I got to pay. I got an empty VIP section because nobody want to pop bottles for bitches that's not sucking dick. Suck some dick. Suck some dick. They don't want to play by the rules. The rule is that the nightclub people offer you entertainment and libations and protection and a night of fun. The rule is that the nightclub provides you with that. The nightclub provides you with a night of entertainment. You provide the men with some dick sucking, and the men provide the nightclub with provisions. It's a triangle. You not sucking my dick breaks the triangle. And that is why the entire industry is broken, because they don't believe in following rules. They believe that rules are things that are made for men, are restrictions that are put on men that women don't have to abide by. So somebody was nice enough to send me a Cash App that I'm going to read to you. Hold on. There's too many buttons here. All right, let's see. No, not personal. All right, give me a second, Joe. I'm gonna have to check it in my email because it keeps sending me to the account routing screen. All right, hold on. It's gonna be here. All right. Says she hates me. She hates me. Sent this Cash App. I greatly appreciate you, brother. Greatly appreciate you. I greatly appreciate Chowhound for sponsoring the show today. Appreciate you. All right. It says GC, you didn't go full podcast. No, I don't. It took 2 hours to cover that. Exactly. And that's because they only believe in contracts that can be enforced. You see, social contracts aren't enforced. They're not enforced. Nobody, punishes you. They don't fine you. They don't arrest you for breaking social contracts. So they're like, why follow them? There's no consequence for breaking it, so why follow them? Men, we have a higher sense of honor and duty. And honor and duty is really just saying that you follow a certain social contract. That's another way of saying that. Like when a samurai who has failed, commits seppuku, that's because of honor and duty. No other reason. That's why he takes that blade, or he takes that blade. That's why the kamikaze do what they do. These is a group of people whose culture is deeply rooted in honor and duty. Same as the people in the military. Same as the people who took a bullet for Trump. Honor and duty. It's like, listen, you got that paycheck and here's that bullet. Like, you know, I mean, I didn't sign up for that job for good reason. But it's like, listen, you know, your word is who you are. Like, you know, like men have died to keep their honor intact. Women do not give a fuck about that. At least not modern women. At least not modern women. Women used to be better people. They used to be better human beings. There's records of women back when Bros was dying on the delivery table, and the doctors say, "You are the baby," and they say the baby. That's recorded. They used to be better people. But now they're worse. So we have to adjust the way that we deal with modern women. We have to become modern men. That's it. That's all. Only have honorable dealings with honorable people. So, I want to thank Chowhound and She Hates Me for their contribution. I want to thank the members for their contributions. I want to thank those who are listening silently and those who participate in the chat. This is GameChanger 00100. Hit that like button on your way out. Game over. Peace.